Look, are you putting in the hours, doing all the work, but still completely struggling to build an audience or, actually monetize your online presence? If you feel like your message is just getting entirely lost in all the noise out there right now, you are in the exact right place. Today, we are breaking down a proven, highly effective system from Dan Martell. This is an entrepreneur who has personally generated over 10 million followers and leveraged that exact audience to build massive multi-million-dollar companies. Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and see exactly how he pulled this off. All right, here is our roadmap from absolute beginner to monetized creator. First, we'll cover the personal brand shift. Then, why you need to stop talking to everyone. Step 3 is taking the reps. Step 4 explores why trust is your ultimate currency. And finally, Step 5, how to actually monetize. Let's kick things off with Step 1, the personal brand shift. What exactly are we building here? Well, before we can even think about growing, we've got to set a super solid foundation of what a brand actually means in today's digital landscape. At its absolute core, a brand is simply an association with an object. Think Nike and athletes, or Ferrari and luxury, right? But a personal brand? That adds a specific person into the equation. For example, when you hear the name Elon Musk, you probably immediately think of space, immense wealth, or Twitter. When you think of Mr. Beast, you instantly associate him with high energy, big smiles, and YouTube. So I really want you to ask yourself right now, what are the specific topics or feelings you want people to instantly associate with your name? And this brings us to a massive paradigm shift in how business is done today. Back in the old model, you'd build your monetization engine first. You'd figure out what to sell, build the product, and then you go run a bunch of ads to try and find an audience. Listen, that world is gone. The new model flips this entirely on its head. Today, you build your audience first. Then you build deep, undeniable trust with them, and only then do you monetize. As Dan Martell brilliantly puts it, the audience is the new oil. It is absolutely the ultimate asset. Moving right along to Step 2, stop talking to everyone. Here's how to actually find your true audience. I gotta give you a warning right up front. If you are trying to speak to the entire internet, you are going to sound completely vanilla. And vanilla is forgettable. To really drive this home, check out this powerful quote from Martell's friend Jen. She says, if you don't have a controversial take or an unpopular opinion, you're not repelling the people you don't want and you're not attracting the people you do want. You need spice in your communication. Now, that doesn't mean you have to scream at the camera or act crazy, but you absolutely must have a specific, concrete opinion to avoid just blending into the background noise. So to help you figure out what that specific message should be, let me hit you with a rapid-fire question. What is the toughest thing you've ever gone through in your life? Take a second, think about it. Martell teaches that the absolute most challenging thing you've ever overcome is actually your most powerful message. Your job as a creator is to help other people avoid that exact pain. It's simple. The bigger the monster you faced, the bigger the hero you become to your audience. Okay, here is the second core question you really need to ask yourself. What is wrong with the world, and how do you want to fix it? When you can accurately articulate a specific, observable, and highly nuanced challenge that a certain group of people faces on a daily basis, magic happens. If you speak directly to that pain point, your audience will literally feel like you have a hidden camera in their office. And to conclude this little question cascade, we have the third absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle. What do you genuinely like talking about? The perfect formula combines what the market desperately needs to hear with what you naturally love to discuss. Martell himself is the perfect example of this. He loves talking about AI and how to buy back your time. So by focusing heavily on those exact personal passions, he attracted 2.6 million subscribers on YouTube alone. All right, so how do we package all of those answers together into something usable? Write this formula down right now. I help blank do blank without blank. So I help type of person do desired outcome without the pain. This single, powerful sentence locks in your niche. It completely forces you to define exactly who you are targeting, what you're helping them achieve, and the specific nightmare you are helping them avoid. Now that we know exactly who we're talking to, we've got to start doing the actual work. Step 3, start taking the reps. It is time to turn off the frontal lobe and just execute. You know how we constantly talk ourselves out of posting because we're overthinking it? We sit around waiting until we finally feel ready. Well, Martel's philosophy on this is incredibly blunt and honestly super liberating. 100. Your first 100 posts will suck. Just accept it right now. Actually, scratch that. You should deliberately treat your first 100 posts as complete throwaways. Seriously, don't obsess over them. Just run as fast as you can to get them out into the world, asking yourself what tiny incremental thing you can improve each time. Let's make this super actionable. Here is the highly structured 4-step action plan for getting started today. First, pick just one platform. Don't spread yourself thin. Martel highly suggests going all in on Instagram to start. Second, decide on a schedule. Pick a posting cadence that makes you feel slightly uncomfortable, like maybe one reel a day, and stick to it relentlessly. Third, hit record right now. Literally, pull your phone out of your pocket and just start talking. And fourth, publish and learn. Pushing publish is like 80% of the battle anyway. Study what works, learn from others, and just keep iterating. Okay, so once you start posting and getting a few eyeballs on your content, you arrive at step 4. Trust is your currency. Please, don't be a sellout. This is a massive pivot into the ethics of content creation, and honestly, it's where so many people completely ruin their brand. You have to fight that desperate urge to start squeezing pennies out of your early growing community. Trust is literally the ultimate currency you are trading. If you sell out, like if you start pushing sketchy products you don't even use just to make a quick buck, you will lose that trust forever. And once it's gone, there is no coming back. No one will ever pay to get in front of your audience again. Think about Apple for a second. Apple is a trillion-dollar company specifically because of the immense, almost irrational market trust they've built up over decades. When people honor you with a follow, you absolutely have to honor that trust. So how do you actually protect that trust on a daily basis? Martel gives us 3 strict rules to ensure you aren't acting like a sellout. Rule number 1, reply to at least 5 comments on every single post. Support your people, add value, and do not think you are suddenly too cool to engage. Rule number 2, reply to every single direct message. Martel specifically points to Gary Vee's legendary dedication here. I mean, Gary built his massive empire by taking the time to manually reply to every single DM and email for years. And rule number 3, give 10 times more free value than you ever ask for in return. This entire step is anchored by such a profoundly emotional philosophy, and it's this: I want to die empty. This is Dan's personal mindset. He goes out, does things in the real world that make tens of millions of dollars, and then he comes right back to his audience and completely unpacks his absolute best secrets, giving them away entirely for free. No holding back, no gatekeeping behind a paywall. If you pour into your audience like this, if you give them everything you've got, they will build an unbreakable loyalty to you. Which finally brings us to the moment you've been waiting for. Step 5, how to actually monetize. The financial reward of all that trust. Now, you might be sitting there thinking you need millions of followers to make real money, but that's just not true. Martel cites this brilliant example of his buddy Mike Brown, who generated $1 million in revenue in a single year from just 7,800 Instagram followers. He did it by building deep, incredibly focused trust. Let's see how. So, the crucial point here is knowing how to extract that value without burning your community to the ground. There are 3 concrete ways to do this. First up is ad revenue. Platforms like YouTube pay you for views. Now, it's a very slow build for sure, but eventually it can easily cover all your production costs. Second is brand deals. This is where a lot of creators make their real money, but you've got to be incredibly careful to only ever align with partners you truly, genuinely believe in. And third, which has the absolute highest upside by far, is selling your own product or service. Your audience already trusts you, and you completely control the entire customer experience. But hear me loud and clear on this. Do not try to do all 3 of these at once. Pick just one method, master it completely, and go all in. To wrap up this explainer, I am leaving you with this single number: 30. Dan Martel explicitly challenges you right now to a 30-day live challenge. For the next 30 days straight, go live on a platform of your choice. Just turn your phone on, hit live, and practice talking directly to your audience, even if literally only 2 people are watching. You've got the entire framework laid out perfectly in front of you now. You know how to find your voice, you know how to build trust, and you know how to monetize the right way. But my final, provocative question to you is this: are you actually willing to turn off the overthinking, hit record today, and finally take the leap?